Okay, so let's just start off. I didn't promise I would perform a thing last year, so just to make that clear. So welcome everyone to North-South. You're probably not supposed to start a conference with the big show and then go downhill. You're probably not supposed to do that, are you? So we're going to make sure we have some things for you throughout the day. We're going to talk about all the great enhancements that we have for our assessment programs today. We're going to talk to you about electronic reporting. That's our one of our new and exciting changes that's coming down the road this year. We're also going to talk to you about the California dashboard. Have a look at that. But before we get started on all of those topics, I want to talk to you about how we're looking at changes to how we communicate with you and how we offer you all professional development opportunities. So how many of you were coordinators when we first launched the Smarter Bounce system? Okay, less than half, I would say. So that was our first dive into computer-based assessment in California. And it was a challenge for you. I think those of you who raised your hand would say it was a little challenging. It was a challenge for us. And so we reacted to that by deploying experts. We had what we affectionately called our assessment fellows. Some of you might remember our assessment fellows. We had Mary Tribby, Gina Quincy, Sally Bennett-Schmidt, and Paula Carroll. Those were the ladies that went up and down California to make sure that all of you knew how to administer our new tests and how to get access to those resources that we had for us. And that was the right approach to where we were at that point in time. You needed us there in person as we really started on that road. The next thing we did is we wanted to make sure that you heard from us. So whether you liked it or not, we communicated with you all the time via what we called field test flashes. So we started that process. And then we took a next phase. As everyone started to become more familiar with how to administer those computer-based tests, we then changed again. What we did was we transitioned to the development of trainings that really met you where you were at that point in time. So we did our CAASPP Institutes, we started ELPAC academies, and we recently started CAST academies. So that was really diving into professional learning. We also took a look at all of our materials, and we wanted to make sure they had a consistent look and a consistent feel because we wanted to provide you all with resources that you wanted to use. So we put a lot of effort in that, and hopefully you have all seen the great work that we've done with our partner, Sacramento County Office of Education. So you can see that we often reflect on how we are offering professional learning and how we are communicating with you to make sure that we are doing it appropriately with where we are in the development of our assessment system. So we've changed. We started off with nuts and bolts. How do we give that test? How do we log into something? Then we added to that stories that we heard from you all about best practices. What were you doing? What was going well? So that you could learn from each other. Then we added to that a little more. We wanted to make sure that you guys knew how to dive into the data. And so we started adding a little bit more to our trainings about how you look at data. And now most recently, we're adding to that how you leverage the full assessment system to support teaching and learning throughout the school year. And so you'll hear a presentation on that today, and you'll see if you go to any conference in California this year, we're probably there giving that same presentation because that's really a focus for us this year. So again, evolution, change, trying to meet you where you are. So why am I talking about evolution? How many of you guessed it's because we're talking about another change, right? So we're looking at changes. We're looking at what can we do to better serve you. We want to also try to minimize the time away from classrooms, right? And so we've added quite a few professional development opportunities, and we think we're quality. Hopefully you all think they're quality when you attend, but we want to try and do that in a way that honors the fact that our educators need to be with their students. We also try very hard to make this North-South meeting engaging because it's it is us giving you so much information, and it's so much one-way communication, and that's why we try so hard to do these silly things so that you stay awake and that you stay here. So we try to do that, but we do recognize that this is really one-way communication. And so we will be looking at different ways of providing that same information to you. We may go virtual for this North-South meeting. That's one thing that we are actively looking at. We also are actively considering changing to a conference style to allow people to customize the training that they go to, so that we can more easily integrate the different trainings that we have into one session. So if we're talking about accessibility, we can talk about accessibility once at a conference, and those that need to hear that topic can attend. We also believe that you all have asked us for support for trainings that you give. So we want to be more helpful in that. So we are looking at providing you with what we're calling pre-packaged trainings. So let's say you have 10 or 15 minutes for a topic, you can look at our pre-packaged trainings that we're going to develop and say, oh, I can see one that I can do for that short amount of time. You have longer. There will be other options for you. So that's the pre-packaged training that we plan on rolling out. So once again, we are reimagining how we serve your needs by looking at how we deliver our workshops. We recognize that there are educators out there that are just starting down the road of using the mini assessment resources that we have, right? We recognize we still need the 101 kind of information. But we also recognize that some of you and some of your teacher leaders actually went to the very first CAASPP Institute where we did the River Walk. Did anyone go to one of those? A few of you in the room. So you all have moved on from those basics. You need different information than maybe those that are sitting next to you who didn't have that opportunity to be a coordinator for so many years. So going into a conference environment will allow us to better fill the needs of those of us that have different levels of experience. But I love the River Walk, and I want to find a way to bring it back. It was concerning when there was huge boulders, and I think there were buildings on fire in one of them. I did take a picture of that one. But I'm sure that all those obstacles to computer-based assessment and implementation have all been resolved by now. So we do plan to launch this new conference, which I have not named yet, so if anyone wants to come up to me later with some ideas for what we're going to name it, we do plan on doing that in 2019. So stay tuned. We hope that teacher leaders really are interested in attending, and you can help us get that word out. So the other thing to recognize is we make these changes based on what we hear from you. So our partners, Sacramento County Office of Education, will be sending a survey designed specifically for ELPAC and CAASPP coordinators. It'll be arriving in your inboxes in the next few weeks. So make sure that you fill it out. Make sure you let us know what you need help with, what you don't need help with, that you have covered, what you like hearing from us, and things that maybe we don't need to spend our very limited resources on. So please do fill that out. And now Deborah took away some of my thunder. I was sitting down there thinking, Deborah, why are you talking about the videos? But anyway, so some of you probably participated in our video contest that was called For Kids, by Kids. So first I want to do a huge thank you to the 28 schools in California that did send in submissions. I was worried when we first had this idea. I thought I might have a party that no one showed up to. So I did do a few calls saying, hey, please, I know you. Will you please send in a video so I at least have 2? But no, we had 28. So the campaign really was having our students talk about how they prepare for the annual state tests. A couple years ago, we provided you all with videos that you could use at your events that you do prior to testing in your districts. And we thought you might enjoy having videos again that you could use, but why have adults do that? Instead, we had students tell other students how they should prepare and what they should think about them. So we'll be presenting those videos to you throughout the day, so Carrick did not have to do any other video singing so that we have entertainment by students instead of Carrick throughout the day today. So voting has opened, and I think we had last count over 200 votes already. So we will send you information on how to vote, so please make sure you do. And also make sure you get on that Twitter, because we want to make Carrick an internet sensation. So that is the goal for today. So I think we put up the account earlier. Make sure that you do that. I think that would be a great thing for him. I think it's his lifelong goal, right, Carrick? So like I said, the video contest, it was tough. We had quite a few submissions, but we did narrow it down to 6 finalists. So please join me in congratulating our 6 finalists: Day Creek Intermediate School, Sierra Madre Middle School, San Dimas High School, Henry M. Gunn High School, Chino Hills High School, and Edwana High School. So hopefully you enjoy seeing them throughout the day. We enjoyed watching them. I may have had more than one vote when we came up with the finalists. So that was fun for my staff who didn't agree with me. But I think you'll enjoy them. So finally, I'm excited to announce that our assessment web pages are getting a new redesign. It wasn't that long ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, where I had the pleasure of speaking in front of the Special Education Commission, and they said how horrible the website was. And I said, well, you must mean the ETS website. And they said, no, yours. And so we have already started putting up new pages. So please take a look. I believe and hope that you can find our resources easier now on the CDE website. So I think Deborah already mentioned that we will make sure that we provide you with the resources and the PowerPoints from this training. So now, please join me in welcoming our next presenter.